Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about one of the two most dangerous things that gender dysphoria actually causing long-term if you continue living with gender dysphoria. So in other words, what are the really long-term effects of gender dysphoria? And as a psychologist, I want to share with you some of the two, I would say most detrimental ones to your health. Now, when you're living with gender dysphoria, what's happening to your brain is that your brain is working overtime, and it's working overtime because it's trying to it's trying to work on the dissonance your brain actually feels between your biological sex and between the gender that you actually are, the gender that you want to be. As a result of this dissonance between biological sex and your true gender, your brain perceives this dissonance as a problem. Our brains are created to solve problems. Our brains are excellent at solving problems. And this is one of the problems that it's actually not going to solve. As a result, our brain is going to ruminate on this problem. So it perceives this dissonance as a problem. And what happens is that your brain creates what I like to call white noise in the back of your head, where it is constantly working. It's almost like, when you have a computer, and when we had a disk drive on computers, and some of you still do, and when you're starting to play a disk on your computer, it goes into overdrive because it heats up the computer. Well, this is what happens in the back of your brain. When you have gender dysphoria, your back of your brain goes into overdrive. It is heating up and it works on 24/7. Why? Because your brain is running circles trying to solve this problem of dissonance. It's trying to figure this problem out. And it can, because it's a medical condition and you have to do something about it. So why is that a problem that your brain is working overtime? Why is it a problem that you have this white noise in the back of your head? It's a problem because it occupies not only so much space, but as a result of its occupancy, it starts interfering and it's starting having an effect on other areas of your life. And it starts to manifest symptomatically. And symptoms might be you having a hard time concentrate on a work because part of your brain is being preoccupied by trying to solve this problem it cannot solve. You're having a hard time sleeping because you're anxiously lying in bed thinking about it. You're having a hard time with eating because you have decreased appetite. You're having a hard time connecting to people around you. You're having a hard time concentrating. You're having a hard time focusing. You're having a hard time living, breathing. In other words, you are feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling hopeless, you're feeling helpless. All of this stem from that part of your brain being on overdrive. And this is one of the most dangerous things that you can do to yourself. This is one of the most unhealthy things, in my opinion, that you can do to yourself in relationship to gender dysphoria. Now, another thing that I actually think is far worse than the first one. Why? Because, a lot of you are very smart. A lot of you are incredibly adaptable. And a lot of you have actually figured out the way to live with the white noise. It's just like computer. Our brains are like computer. When our computers disk drive start to work in overdrive and it heats up, we figured a way around it, right? Sometimes we'll put a fan. Sometimes, people have. I remember having those computers, and I remember figuring out some intangible solution to deal with it. Maybe sometimes I'll turn off computer off, and I'll wait for it to cool down, then I'll turn it back on. Well, this is the same analogy you're doing to yourself. Maybe sometimes you will numb that noise in the back of your head, and you numb it through eating or through drinking or through shopping or through gaming or through other types of behavior. Maybe you numb it through even much more harmful type of behavior. So a lot of you are very adaptable and found a way to deal with gender dysphoria. That's why so many of you are able to live with gender dysphoria for a long period of time, because of adaptability. But just because it's adaptable does not mean that it's good. So the dangers of this and the dangers of living with the white noise in the back of your head for a long time is because you are starting to mentally shift. You're making a mental shift from living to existing. Let me explain the difference between the two, because I think this is even worse than having your brain working overtime for you. When we live, we are present. We're present in a moment, we're present for ourselves, and we're present for others, especially for our family and our friends and our loved ones. When we're living, we truly go through the life as live human beings. When you're existing, And a lot of you guys are existing out there. I'm sorry to say this, breaks my heart to say this. A lot of you are existing out there. Existence means you are moving through life on autopilot. You're moving through life as a robot. And when you move through life through robot, you're not connecting to yourself. You're not connecting to anybody else. This is pure survival. Survival is existing. It's not necessarily living. It is something that you must do, and it's something that you do too. This is why a lot of you dissociate. I'm not talking about dissociative identity disorder. I'm talking about dissociative defense, dissociative states of mind. This is why a lot of you feel so much pain about your body that you dissociate. Your mind goes off, wanders off somewhere else. A lot of you are dissociating during sex. Why? Because sex exposes us. Sex makes us feel vulnerable. It makes opens up our body, puts us more in connection to our body. So a lot of you are dissociating during sex. I bet your partners, if you're in a relationship, are telling you, hey, where did you go? Why you're never present? You're dissociating with your loved ones. So in other words, you are kind of like a floating off the pilot, living in this, well, not living, existing in this robotic state. And you're not present for anybody else, and people don't feel you. And a lot of you know this because once you do start actually taking control of dysphoria and you're starting to do something about gender dysphoria, your loved ones automatically often tell you, wow, you feel so much more present. Wow, I'm so much more connected to you. I feel like you're really present in our lives, and I feel like you're really present with me, and I feel like you're present with yourself. And this is the biggest I would say dangers of living with gender dysphoria long term is that you become accustomed to existing. You become accustomed to moving on autopilot as a robot. And sometimes when you do even transition, your mind goes quickly to those defenses. Even when you have transitioned, I've seen people who still struggle with dissociation because it has become so habituated as a coping mechanism. But keep in mind that coping mechanisms are not always healthy. What was adaptive at one time, meaning helpful to you, becomes maladaptive as time goes by, unless you actually modify and change it to a healthier adaptability. So those are, in my opinion, are the two of the most important and the most dangerous aspects of living with gender dysphoria. One, how much space it occupies in your head and how your brain works over time trying to solve a problem it is not meant to solve, trying to solve a problem that does not have a mental solution. Gender dysphoria is not a mental problem. If it was a mental problem, a lot of you would have solved it by now because a lot of you are brilliant. It is a medical problem. It is something that requires medical intervention with your body, medical intervention with your hormone levels, not with your head. So living it in a headspace will make it work over time. And second danger is existing, moving through life on autopilot. And this is such a painful way to live. And you guys know this, and this is so unnecessary. So why am I sharing this video? I'm sharing this video because I want you guys to know that the longer you prolong your gender dysphoria, the longer you become habituated to these two ways of living. And it's not necessary and it's not healthy. And I want you to be present for your loved ones. And I want you to be present first and foremost for yourself because you deserve it. Comment below, let me know if you feel like or felt like you were walking through the life on autopilot as a robot. What did it feel like? And has it changed for you once you started transition? Comment below and let me know how much space, mental space, your gender dysphoria occupies. Because here's the trick. Once you focus on gender dysphoria and you start dealing with it, that space becomes freed up. When it becomes freed up, that space is going to have to be filled up with something else. And oftentimes it is filled up with you focusing on your potential, focusing on doing things that you want to do and doing things that you love doing. And that's a great thing. So comment below, let me know. I love reading all of your comments. Share with me, let me know where you're at with this and whether this has been helpful or not. I'd love hearing your comments, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.